All you got to do is keep going. One of the things that's very detrimental, but something we are very good at as people, is being stuck. And by being stuck, I mean being stuck in whatever adversity that life is throwing at us in that moment, being upset, sad, or going through any form of hardship. A lot of the times we just get stuck and we can't find a way out. We get so stuck on, a matter of how it happened, why it happened, instead of understanding that we just have the ability to continue moving forward. A lot of times we get put into the sunken place where we can't necessarily think of a positive future. I know one of the things personally, especially, dealing with hardships or relationships and stuff like that, I found myself kind of down and I couldn't see the light. And I just didn't know that the thought of a positive outcome wasn't in view. It wasn't in view. I couldn't imagine it. I couldn't grasp it or whatnot. But it wasn't until I started to realize that the time is flying by day by day. Seconds are going by day, and with each breath I'm still getting up. It made me realize that all you have to do is continue to keep going. Whatever you're going through, don't allow yourself to get stuck within it. And once again, I would like to point out the simple fact that, you're saying you're going through something. You're going through something. Allow yourself to continue to go through it. As eventually you'll find that solution. Eventually you'll find that light at the end of the tunnel. Everything passes. I feel like we understand that life comes as a storm, right? But we get so caught on the fact that it's raining outside and not realizing or not thinking about the fact that when the storm passes, right, that it's going to be beautiful outside. We're more so worried about what's going on in that moment. And when we get stuck, it gets depressing. We're sad, we're stuck, it's raining, everything is going on, while forgetting that it all will pass. We wouldn't have made it this far. You wouldn't have made it this far when it comes to your progression as an individual, your progression mentally, physically, spiritually, if it wasn't for you having to go through something. All it does is build character. All it does is build mental fortitude. It builds a sense of resilience inside of you. And you have to continue to go on. And yes, while going on, there will be more things that eventually come to you or come within your way, more adversity to try to sit you back down. But once you learn that lesson of continuing and knowing that you have to continue to go on, it makes things so much better. And I truly understand it gets very hard to actually find the light when you're going through these things, or find some sort of positive outcome, but I think that's where you kind of have to take time to reassess and understand that, things have been bad before. They always end up finding a way. They always end up turning out. Things don't ever just stay negative. Things don't ever just stay bad. It's kind of like a yin yang effect. To every negative, there's always a positive. At some point you may just be in the negative swing of things. Right now your season may be something that's just holding you down, but as time goes, seasons change. And guess what? It might be your time to prosper. It might be your time to put any adversity that you went through behind you. And once again, a lot of times we just get stuck. It's kind of funny, that I think that we're the ones that, we don't realize when we're going through these things that at the end of the day, our outcomes are based upon the effort that we put in. And that effort that we can put in, we can put more effort in. We put effort into being stuck into things instead of getting up and taking ourselves out of them. And also in that is that, when we're going through these things, we don't realize that we're the ones who are writing our story. Besides God, and we believe in faith over here, but we're the ones who are writing our story, right? So a lot of the times we get so caught up just within that one chapter that we put the pen down sometimes and we don't want to continue writing. We know the story isn't finished, but for some reason we keep on drawing out this current chapter. But eventually, if you continue to write, at some point you will come to a close of that chapter. Just once again reiterating on the fact that you just have to keep going. That chapter may be very long. It could be 50 pages, 100 pages. We just talking about a book right now, but in the reality of it, or the real-time perspective of it, it may be days, weeks, months, that you're going through this thing. But as long as you continue to go through it, I promise to you, you will get through it. And there is a lot of power in that. I've stated that before. I've stated it multiple times that, give yourself a pat on the back in the fact that you can say you're going through something and you're not allowing yourself to be stuck within something. Never allow yourself to be stuck within the past, or be stuck within be stuck within the turmoil or adversity that you're going through. Allow yourself to accept what's going on in the present and continue to move on as the seconds go by, because as that time goes by, you won't be getting it back. We only have a finite amount of time to be here on this earth. We only have a finite amount of time to be able to accomplish these things. So you can't allow your time to be wasted by just sitting within these things. You know, time waits for nobody. You know, tomorrow isn't promised. If you get so stuck inside of that adversity and you put yourself in kind of like a box and thinking that, you know, it's hard, but maybe I'll start trying. Like, no, you need to start trying today. Continue to go forward, you know. And even then, when you finally continue to go forward and you make it through that adversity, you'll be able to look back and say, hey, I did that. One of the things I'm really proud of myself, and I can say people within my friend group that I'm very proud of, is looking back on the adversity that we have been through and the times that we have just been down bad. We didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. It was just darkness, spiraling. And at some point, we're in the present. You don't realize it in a moment, but we're in the present. Looking back and then realizing where you are in the present and understanding that you made it through all of that. It really lights a fire within you and kind of makes you feel unstoppable, because although you have the weight of the world on your shoulders, although you have this pain going on, this confusion, or trying to figure out, you know, how to live life without people, you continue to walk on, and you walk on with yourself, with your strength, with your faith, and it all works out. Everything all works out. A lot of the things that we go through inside of this life, generally when it comes to adversity, emotions, or anything that's going on, it's all temporary. Yeah, it sucks. It really, really does suck. But I think this is the time when you're in that, you actually take the time to feel it, process it, and understand how to use it to propel yourself forward. There's always a lesson when you're dealing with these things. There's always a lesson at the end of it. You just have to continue to persevere and push yourself and go through it in order to find what it's trying to teach you. By the time you found the lesson that it's tried to teach you, you've already applied the lesson and developed into a whole new person by just going through it. And then guess what? Now that you got through it, at some point you're gonna have to go through it again. Just saying that to show the cycle of life, just to show the cycle of adversity, is that, you know, if you can't get through the things that you're currently going through, you know, the way I believe is that life compounds on itself. It's only going to get harder. It's only going to get more difficult. The storm is only going to last longer at certain times, and you must have the ability to know, hey, it passes. The rain passes, the storm passes. Hey, it's raining right now, but I'm still going out there with no umbrella. It might suck. I might get wet. I might get drenched or whatever, but having that strength to be able to continue to go on and reach your destination, and then looking back at the trail of water, looking back at the storm, the mess that you just went through, have it. And you know, I'm making all of these analogies and references and stuff by the storm, by the rain and everything. I'm talking about the feelings. I'm talking about the confusion. I'm talking about being lost while continuing to move forward. And that's another thing. You may be lost while continuing to move forward. You know, you're going through these emotions, you're feeling these things, dealing with the loss of people, dealing with stress, dealing with anger, any form of adversity, right? But then you're still able to move forward while lost. And you have to give yourself a pat on the back, and also give a big clap for the man up above, because we can do all things through faith as long as you have faith. If you lose yourself to the adversity, you will find yourself while continuing to go through it. If you lose yourself in adversity, you will find yourself again at the end of the storm when you continue to go through it. And if for some reason you don't believe that you can find yourself, use the direction of the God up above, and he can always show you. He will always bring you to light. You just have to have faith and have the effort, have the energy, the resiliency to continue to go through whatever you're going through. So, you know, don't let these things weigh you down. Don't let these things limit your ability to reach your potential, because you're so stuck on this current moment. Everything passes, everything fades, it's a process. We have to feel it. One of the most important things is you have to feel it in order to know what to do when you feel that. Again, you have to go through it, and you have the ability to. I know you are strong enough to get through it. So, you know, whatever it is, once again, it may be the loss of a significant other, you know, it may be grief of family, it could be something stressful, work, whatever it is, you know, whatever adversity that you're going through, understand that you just have to process and continue to go through it and show life that you won't stay down. You know, that's what it's all about, is being resilient. You can't stay down. You must continue to come back up. Going through it. Go through it and give yourself a pat on the back right now. You have the ability to you've been going through it. You know, although you may be lost, you saying that you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, but look at you right now. You still you're thinking about a way to get out. You know, it might be hard. You might not necessarily know how to get out, but you continue to get up every single day. You might be dropping tears, but you still have the ability to get up every day. You going after, you might have to show up to your job. You might have to show up to be around people that's going through it. You know, that's building that grit. That's filling it out. That's going through it. You have the ability to go through it. So I really just hope that whoever this is really understands their current situation, or whatever you're going through, or if you're going through something, to be able to apply this to your future and understand that you have the ability to go through it. You're strong enough to go through it and get through it. You know, I would just like to say to whoever it is on the other side of the screen is, you know, as long as you have willpower and faith, you know, your want to get through it will always outweigh the weight of life weighing you down, slowing you down from getting to it. You know, the weight of adversity will never completely put you in a standstill. The only thing that can put you in a standstill is once you lose your mental, once you lose your faith within inside of yourself. So once again, I would like to maybe instill some faith within you and make you realize your strength, that you are still continuing to go through. You just have to get through it. That's all it is. That's all it is, and that's really all I got to you. Don't allow yourself to be limited. Don't allow yourself to be halted. Continue to move forward. Everything always passes. You know, the storm always passes. It sucks while you're in it, and when you get out of it, it's going to be beautiful, and then you could go back and look at the wreckage and say, hey, I walked through that. And you'll have even more newfound strength. As you found your strength on the way getting through it, you'll find even more strength looking back and realizing that you got through it. That's all I got for you, you know. Continue to pick your head up, stay strong, and don't allow yourself to fall to adversity. Continue to get through it and realize that the adversity that you're dealing with, you're not alone. We're all in this thing together. And speaking of being together in some form of community, I've been working on creating a one-day community down below. If you haven't seen it, it's a Discord chat. It's a couple of like-minded people so far. It's very small. Go ahead and hit that down below. You know, join. We can talk about things. Any adversity you have going on in your life, we can talk about it. If you're trying to progress on yourself, work on your health, anything, or even just hold yourself accountable, there's a couple of like-minded people in there, including myself, and you can come and speak to me directly through there when I have time and I'm editing these videos. But go ahead and join the one-day community down below. And if you made it to this point, please go ahead and leave a comment. Tell me that you have the strength. Do you have the strength? That's my question to you, is are you strong enough to continue to go through it? It's not even a question for me, because I know you have it. It's just, do you have it? So that's my question to you. But yeah, if you've made it to this point, go ahead and leave a like, comment, subscribe, share it maybe, and turn on post notifications. And yeah, peace, love, and blessings as usual. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Love.